Well, good morning. Making sure you guys can hear me. My name is Jennifer Stein, and I get to be the director of Prevent Child Abuse Georgia. Want to welcome you today. I want to share one of my favorite quotes from a childhood icon that we all can appreciate, Mr. Rogers. And he says, "Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping." And so as I look across the room today and I see all of you as helpers coming here today, I want you to know how much we appreciate each and every one of you. In the chaos of modern life and in the challenges of raising our children, one of the most important protective factors that we can help guide others with is that of reaching out for help and seeking support. So bolstering this in our families, the help that they need, when and where they need it, and receiving it with dignity and ease. And so I want to thank you for joining us this morning. We're going to be having time together to celebrate the successes of Find Help Georgia, and then also ways to continue to partner with each one of you with the goal that we want to make sure that Find Help Georgia is the most accessible and the most recognized resource platform across the state of Georgia. So thank you again for being here. I'm excited to introduce you to Amy Royes. Amy is the CAPS director at Bright from the Start, Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning, and she oversees their development and partnerships. And we have been blessed for the last 3 years partnering with DeCal and the Technical College System of Georgia, bringing all of you Find Help Georgia. So Amy.
Good morning. It's great to see you all today. Thank you for braving the weather and coming out to join us. What a beautiful gathering this is. We are so happy that you're here today. I'm honored to be here today to introduce our commissioner, Amy Jacobs. Amy has been with the Department of Early Care and Learning for 10 years. This is her 10th anniversary, so we are very excited about that. We've been celebrating all year long. And she oversees DeCal. We have just over 800 employees, so she is a very busy lady. And in addition, in her free time, she also sits on the board of the Dill Center, as well as the Georgia Children's Cabinet and the foundation, the Georgia Foundation for Early Care and Learning. Amy has been a champion for 2-gen work in Georgia. We have really had the opportunity at DeCal to sort of blaze some new trails in the 2-gen space, and Find Help Georgia is a big part of that. She has supported us and been with us from day one of this effort, and we are so thankful for that. It has really allowed us to expand how we work with our CAPS families, more than just providing those child care scholarships, which are a wonderful thing, but it lets us work with them on a whole other level in providing those needed resource and referrals for them. So we are glad to have Dr. Jacobs here with us today, and she will come talk to us for just a few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. And in full disclosure, I am not a doctor, and if anybody wants to give me an honorary doctorate, I would. You can call me Dr. Jacobs. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But I do appreciate that, Amy. Thank you for that kind introduction. And it's so good to be with everyone this morning. And around this exact time last year, I had the privilege of welcoming you to the very first Find Help Georgia Forum, and I told you we had planned to hold and build on the event every year. And so here we are again, and I welcome and thank you for being here and taking time out of your busy lives to be here this morning. I'm also very grateful for our continued partnership with Prevent Child Abuse Georgia and the Technical College System of Georgia. We have all joined together over the last several years to create and maintain the Find Help Georgia resource and referral platform. We know that every family in Georgia is unique, different compositions, 2 parents in the home, single parent, differing number of children, extended family in the home, different locations, urban, suburban, rural, different socioeconomic situations, and definitely different challenges and needs. And as unique as each family's challenges and needs are, so are the resources to meet and resolve those needs. And that's why Find Help Georgia is so very important. Since we met last, we have continued to connect families to local resources to help with a myriad of challenges, from financial assistance, food pantries, medical care, child care, job training, and other free or reduced cost services. The Find Help Georgia resource and referral platform has become a vital part of the 2-gen approach to providing services. That is not just focusing on the needs of children or the adults in their lives, but providing these resources to help the whole family, a 2-gen or whole gen approach. So during today's forum, you will receive updates from Find Help Georgia about the platform and the partnerships. You'll hear testimonials from the people who have been helped by Find Help Georgia, and from state and local sources that have been accessed through the platform. And of course, you'll learn from each other as you discuss relevant topics and experiences with your peers at your tables. I truly believe that Find Help Georgia is one very important and very efficient way to bridge the gap between a family's needs and the state's resources to help meet those needs. I thank you for being here, and I hope you'll leave the forum today with the assurance that your part in providing and maintaining this valuable resource is making a difference in the lives of Georgia families. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. It brings some joy. I'm so happy that you all chose to be here today and join us to learn more about Find Help Georgia and how to use the platform and how to engage and network with others. My name is Kimberly Stewart Lucas. I am the Training and Resource Coordinator for PCA Georgia and part of the community engagement team of Find Help Georgia. I provide the trainings and presentations. And again, just really happy that you all have chosen to be here today. I know that we have a collective of many people that are new to Find Help Georgia and the Find Help family, providing new doors. As we say, there's no wrong door approach to Find Help. And also our partners that are here with us today. But some of you are familiar with Find Help, but I just want to have a little reminder of ways in which you all can connect to resources through Find Help Georgia. We have several ways that you can connect. When you go to findhelpga.org, you're able to put in your zip code. That's the main way. You can also put in program names, but your zip code is what takes you to the main brain of resources. Also, we have extended ways in which people can access to those resources through our Find Help Georgia helpline, which is answered by Healthy Mothers and Healthy Babies. So that provides the call for help Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and also the option to chat online. And then we also invite you to download the mobile app, and that's available for those that are seeking help as well as those that are in the field providing the help. So there are many ways in which you can connect and people can easily connect and self-navigate by using Find Help Georgia. So a large part of our success with Find Help Georgia and the work that we do in Georgia is the amazing and ongoing support team that we receive from the national team of Find Help. And so now I'd like to introduce two members of our success team from Find Help, which is Associate Principal Kelsey Allen and Senior Consultant Elaine Cray. Thank you. And you can just either be here. I'm an old school person, so I do mine.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. I've actually been with Find Help Georgia since its inception back in, I think, 2021 is when we started with DECAL, and then bringing on board PCA Georgia in 2022. And so excited to be here and be a part of this and just see how this journey has grown. Our mission at Find Help is to connect all people in need and with the programs that serve them with dignity and ease. So similar to what Jennifer was mentioning up there, and we carry that mission throughout Find Help because we truly believe that every person and family in need should have a resource that they can turn to find help. And to do that, we've just been really working on the platform that allows you to make those connections. And Find Help Georgia, powered by Find Help, has been doing that for the past 2.5 years, as well as growing our own Georgia network. So a little bit more about just Find Help in Georgia. We have over 1.9 million users statewide, over 8 million searches, and over 7,000 available programs. Those are free and reduced cost programs that provide a direct social service to the individuals in Georgia. As you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, we have several organizations using Find Help platforms to connect the individuals that they help with those programs. And each one of these organizations helps strengthen the network so that people in need can find that help and those resources at various points in their life. Over the past year, I'm just really excited about this because Find Help Georgia has seen so much growth and so many people utilizing the platform to find those programs that I'm really happy to show just how much over the past year it's grown, with over 50,000 users, with a 56% increase in growth. You can see here on the screen, we have a couple different initiatives this year that helped us see that great growth. One is our Technical College System of Georgia launched their staff site and started promoting the site to their students as well. So students are able to use Find Help Georgia and access it through their Blackboard platforms as well as the college's sites in order to connect with resources that can help make sure that they can remain in their studies and in their classes, things like transportation and childcare and others. And then we also saw this year DFACS training and promotional handouts as well, which helped the growth of the network. Over 140,000 searches, up 19% from last year. And you can see that we saw a great amount of growth during those times when we promoted it more, but there's been just a steady amount of growth over the past 2 years. These searches are coming from different areas. We're able to see certain searches and where people are clicking on them from. And so you can see that depending on how people have located them on their various sites, we can tell that they're coming from different college sites, from Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, from DECAL and the Cobb Collaborative and Blackboard sites. And these are only a few of the sites that we're seeing searches from. I did want to call out here that students are finding a lot of use in this and finding a lot of great ways to connect through the Blackboard sites as well. And with these searches and with the users on the site, they're getting connected to those programs. We saw more than 33,000 connections this year alone, up 83% from last year. That means that these are individuals clicking on those programs, getting connected to those programs, and getting the help that they need when they need it. Next, I'm going to turn it over to Elaine to talk a little bit about some of the new features. As a software company, we are always trying to enhance our platform so that it better serves the seeker and the individuals in your community. And we have some new features that Elaine's going to go through and show you.
Kelsey, good morning, everyone. I'm going to do my best Vanna White here as we reveal the new features. We have multiple teams at Find Help that are dedicated to continuous improvements to the site. And that is based on feedback from the community. So just a plug here that, we always listen to that feedback that you provide, and that's what's led to these new features that we're gonna highlight. I've got 5 that I wanna show you here, and these are all contributing to more efficiencies, a better user experience on the platform for everyone that's using it. So perhaps the most highly requested one is what we call our CBO Digest, or Community-Based Organization Digest. For anyone who's less familiar with Find Help, I'll just share that organizations can claim their programs or take ownership of it on our site. That gives them access to a free suite of program management tools and impact reports. So organizations can opt in to referrals, and for those that do, this feature will come in handy. Because what we've seen is that programs that receive a lot of referrals, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here, that can be very time consuming to track and monitor. And so what this is doing is giving a high level summary to organizations of what are those outstanding referrals, what's the impact that you're having, and then some quick links to be able to easily update their programs and the referrals. So we've had a lot of great response to this feature release for organizations. And then another one here for, again, organizations that opt into referrals. They have access to a free inbound referrals dashboard. And what we've done here is make some improvements to the usability with some aesthetic changes that just make it a little bit easier to navigate and view, collapsible columns and different filters, and also just more efficiency so that people can quickly see what are the referrals that I need to follow up on, who are the people that are most eligible for services. Everything we're doing here is so that organizations can spend less time in the platform sifting through referrals and more time helping the community that they're serving. So that's another popular one. I was actually on a call with an organization when they opened this up and their eyes just got really big. So that's what we love. That's what we're hoping for, is that these are really helpful changes. I mentioned that suite of tools that organizations can access by claiming. Another intake tool option is this screener form. So organizations can ask some customized questions. Do you live in Fulton County? Or are you over 18? Whatever they might need to know to serve that individual. These are optional forms because we never want them to be a barrier to services. But in that, we also recognize that it helps the organization when there are higher submissions. So what we're trying to do here is increase those submission rates by having some pop-ups that help people understand the context and the rationale for these screening forms and how important they are to the organization that's looking to serve them. So this is helping with more submission rates. It's also just explaining, if you don't complete this, here's some follow-up steps to take after this referral. So those are all specific to organizations that are using the site to receive referrals. The next bucket here is going to be specific to our customer sites. So we at Find Help have two different types of sites. There's this paid premium version, like the one that Find Help Georgia has, and then there's findhelp.org. There are free versions of the site. This is specific to customer sites. One call out I want to make here is that the customer sites are what keeps it free to everyone else. That's our business model as a public benefit corporation. Customer sites have some more bells and whistles. So for any customers in the room, listen up. This is specific to you. I will say for navigators, those that are navigating on behalf of others on the site, anyone can track referrals that they've sent. On the customer site, the update here is that you can configure how those updates are happening. So when a referral is updated, when the loop is closed on it, how is that happening on your specific site? So that's the difference here on the customer sites. Any version of Find Help navigators will get those options and insights into referrals. Another customer site update here is seeker messaging. What we know is it's really helpful to reach out to the individuals who are seeking services after the point of referral. So what this allows is sort of those push notifications, reaching up, make sure that you're going to this appointment on this day, or, XYZ, whatever they might need to know. This is that one-way seeker messaging. Whereas this one here is two-way. So now we're allowing for a response from that individual. Maybe we want to ask questions. How did it go? What feedback do you have for me? So this is allowing for that return via text message, which we know by and large is the preferred method of communication on the platform. So lots more that we have rolled out this year, but these are the most popular ones that we wanted to just highlight and bring to you by way of showing that, with our mission of connecting people to programs with dignity and ease, part of that for us is making it as seamless and as easy as possible with these enhancements and improvements on the site. So we were planning to open it up for questions, but keep us honest with time. If we don't have it, we do have it, well, then we'll open it up for questions if anyone has them. Jennifer.
So this is, and I think I can go back a slide just to kind of show you here. So when you're in your People I'm Helping dashboard as a navigator, you can click on the seeker messaging widget and actually type in the message. So that is a navigator human behind that messaging. And as you can see here with that little icon, that red icon over the text message icon, it's letting that navigator know that they have a response as well from the seeker. So it can be that back and forth communication between the seeker and the navigator. And seeker, for anybody who isn't familiar, that is the individual that you are helping in the community. Any other questions? And if you ever have any questions about the features of the platform and what's available to you as a CBO organization or a navigator, we do have our support portal that you can find at the top right-hand corner, and we have so many knowledge-based articles and tips and tricks and training videos on there as well. And then you can always reach out to us if you have any questions.
And one more plug for Kimberly's trainings that are monthly. where you can
Wonderful
learn more.
trainings, yes.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you very much. I'll put their contact information back up here, just if you all want to get a screenshot of that for Kelsey and Elaine. Thank you so much. So there are a few things specific to Find Help Georgia that we want to share as well, some updates. For those of you that have been in the Find Help family for a while, you heard about certified navigators, which you would become once you took the training. Well, Find Help National has, what do they call it, grandfathered that, or it's sunset, that's it, that's the word, sunset. And Find Help Georgia picked it up. So when you take our training, actually my next training is this Thursday, the 21st, at 11:30 a.m., where you can learn about particularly those first 3 features that Elaine was talking about. And I'll show you a bit later when you go to findhelpga.org and click on Organizational Tools, which is a green little icon on the right top side of the screen. You'll be able to be connected to how to register for the training. We do monthly trainings, but the next one is this Thursday, the 21st, at 11:30 a.m. But when you complete that training, and every training that we do, the customer-based, the CBO 2-hour training, you become a certified navigator. And that basically shows that you've made a commitment to using the platform in your organization, in your agency. Also with taking the training, you get access to order promotional materials that we have a lot of them out in the front table where you registered this morning. And also there's some features that we are rolling out for those that take the training and become a certified navigator. So just last week, we have launched our office hours. This is available to those that are trained and certified navigators. There's a lot of information that I give you during these trainings. I do provide you with a link to the recording of the training and a follow-up message that goes over all the links that we talk about in the training. But this is a new feature that we have made available where people will have monthly office hours, and it's kind of a drop-in where you can ask technical assistance questions. We can actually go over your program card, which is the actual listing in the platform. Look at what your current settings, what the bandwidth is of what your staff and your workflow is. Does the contact setting that's on your profile card, does it match what you're able to do with your workflow? So we kind of go over all those things. We also extend and talk about the widget. So earlier in one of the slides, you saw maybe some search boxes that we have available for to be embed on your website. We go over those things during office hours and just ways in which you can engage with the community stakeholders that you serve with Find Help Georgia. So that's something that is available now. And in 2025, the community engagement team is launching the quarterly Find Help Georgia newsletter, which will share new features on the platform, community spotlights, and the organizations and agencies using Find Help Georgia, upcoming training opportunities, events, and aspects related to Find Help Georgia. So I'm going to invite you all, there's screens in front of you, behind you, to take a moment to scan this QR code and subscribe to the newsletter, please. We want to get organic signups at the Find Help Georgia Forum. And just take a few minutes to complete the form that you're connected to. And we'll be launching that next year. Is it working for you all? Oh, maybe the Wi-Fi? Okay. All right. So everyone that's attended today, you will receive the follow-up, the review of this that will also contain that. I'm trying to think of another way that we could. And at the end, we'll try again at the end at the thank yous. We'll have another QR code. Okay. Is that everyone at least scanned it? Okay. You have no survey. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we'll figure out a way. If it's a will, there's a way. Yes. Grace. So these are some of the things that we have rolled out with Find Help Georgia, and we're excited again just to share ways in which we can take this platform and meet the people that are needing the services that are on Find Help Georgia and meeting them where they are, teaching them how to use the service, how you all as navigators and helpers can connect people to the resources that will serve them. And next, I'd like to bring up our amazing community engagement partners from DeKalb. We have Amy Royce and Melinda Knowles. If you can join us, please. Thank you. Now I'm old school. I have a clicker. It's here, so you need to click here or you click there.
For me. Thank you. Hello again. Thank you for having us today. We wanted to come and talk to you a little bit today about some of the ways we are using Find Help Georgia at DeKalb. We have worked very hard to spread the word about Find Help Georgia, not only to our CAPS teams, which is a large part of Department of Early Care and Learning, but also out to our other divisions. So we have been out to our pre-K teams, to our inclusion teams, just really trying to bring everyone under that Find Help Georgia umbrella and make sure that they have access, that they are trained in some of Kimberly's wonderful trainings. Highly, highly recommend, by the way, she is a 10 out of 10 trainer. So definitely take advantage of those trainings. And we really, want to spread the word. One of the exciting things we have done within CAPS is to use Find Help Georgia not only with our main population of parents, but we have a pilot that's going on right now in partnership with the Technical College System of Georgia, yes. And that is called our Student Parent Pilot. We are actually putting CAPS staff out onto Technical College campuses, and we'll talk a little bit in a moment about where those are, working in person, face-to-face with families to help them sign up for CAPS, to help them overcome some of the barriers. Why is that important to us? Because we know, let me see if I can click here. There we go. We know that one of the biggest challenges for student parents is childcare. We see completion rates of programs are significantly lower for students who have children. And when you speak to them about what is causing, what are the things that are happening that are hindering you from being able to complete your degree or certificate or whatever program they're involved in, adult ed, GEDs, whatever it may be, one of those top reasons is childcare. And we really wanted to address this group. They are one of our newest priority groups in CAPS, and we felt it was very important to be able to go out and serve this population. So that is what we are doing. We really are trying to just help them overcome those barriers and improve the family unit as a whole. It doesn't stop with CAPS. It also continues into finding those resources and referrals. We have some of our student parent pilot staff here today. I think they're spread out throughout the room. I'd like to ask them to stand and recognize them. We are very happy that they're here. We have Carolyn Morkay, our pilot manager, Carolyn Morkay, Carla Berlioz, who we'll hear from in a moment, Mia Parks, and Christine Lampkin. Did I get everyone? Yes, okay, good. I don't want to leave anyone out. We are very, very excited to have this initiative in CAPS, and I believe next we will hear from Ms. Carla. One more? Okay.
My name is Larisha Simmons.
And we are at the Vargas Valdosta campus.
We are consultants with the CAPS 2Gen Student Parent Pilot Program here.
At our Vargas Valdosta office, we have set aside a help desk station where we have pamphlets, handouts, and a Find Help Georgia CAPS kiosk for applications and searches.
So within this desk station, we do allow our 2Gen student parents consultants to know that there are additional resources for food if they do need additional food stamps or food banks, housing for a low income or energy assistance program, child care, additional funding if they are denied for any reason, also healthcare, parenting support, and then also legal advice, among many other resources. Find Help Georgia.
Follow us.
When the 2Gen student parents do come in, whether eligible or not, we also tell them about the Find Help Georgia program that we do also partner with. While the Find Help Georgia program, they're able to go onto the link or the website, type in the desired zip code as long as it's within anywhere within Georgia, and see additional resources or funding that is also able to assist them in their day-to-day life.
So that is a little glimpse of the Find Help Georgia efforts at Wiregrass down in Valdosta, Wiregrass, Georgia Technical College. Let me get that name correct. Down in Valdosta, Lowndes County. Thank you, Carla. I told her that she may have a second career happening as a video editor with the music and everything. I said, wow. So we are very thankful for them. And we do have 3 locations. And I will note that all of our staff is not here today. Some of them are at training. Those of you who know about PLC training from Decal or Decal Friends, some of them are in PLC training this week. So they're not here with us, but we are very thankful for those who are. Our 3 locations are at Chattahoochee Tech in Cobb County, Central Georgia Tech in Bibb County, and then, of course, Wiregrass Georgia Tech in Lowndes County. And we really wanted to spread statewide. We have 2 consultants on each campus. They work with the credit program students, they work with the adult ed students, and with WorkSource Georgia students. And what's really important to know is, and I believe Larisha mentioned it in the video, that we don't only share Find Help Georgia and the resources available with those who qualify for CAPS. It is available to anyone who crosses our path. So if they come in, chat with us for just a moment and we discover for whatever reason that they may not be eligible for CAPS at this time, we always go ahead and refer them, and you can see we have the kiosks set up for them. They can always look for other resources, and we will help them as needed in person with that. So just a word about the pilot. So for our applications, those who are coming in through the student parent pilot have a higher rate of approval. We see in CAPS, and this is recently changed because of some of our limits changing within CAPS, but our typical approval rate at this time is around 16 to 17% for applications that come in through the general population, typically applying online. Many of our community partners know about that, through the gateway system. For the student parent pilot, we are very excited to share that the approval rates are around 56%. Thus far, we've been able to assist over 100 families in getting that high quality child care to allow them to continue and complete their programs at the technical college. With the approval rates being that different, we really started looking at, why is it? What is the difference? And we really came down to 3 things. First of all, the in-person help, that personal touch. They can come in, apply for CAPS, receive those resources through Find Help Georgia. If they come in the day of with their verifications that are needed, they could essentially walk out that day with a CAPS scholarship. If not, they, of course, like every other parent, would have time to submit those verifications, and then we would follow up with them and complete their scholarships at that time. It's very, very exciting. A second reason, again, related to that in-person help, when someone has questions, if they're in an application process, if they're in the verification process, it's very important that they have someone they can go to. They are establishing relationships with these families. One of the very exciting parts of the pilot is family center coaching. I know most of our Decal friends are familiar with family center coaching. Is anyone else? Family center coaching is just a method of working with families to set their own goals and provide resources and share with them in moving toward their goals. It places the families in the driver's seat and helps them to understand what it will take to accomplish those goals. We don't do it for them. That's something that they do for themselves. We are just there to provide supports to them along their journey. And then the third reason is because we see student parents are typically very highly motivated. They've made that commitment, right? That's a brave thing to step out when you have especially, 1 or 2 or 3 young children, to go ahead and say, hey, I want to do something to improve my life, my children's future. And they will join these programs, enroll at the technical college system, and whatever program it may be, It may be to get a GED. It may be to get a cosmetology degree. It could be all manner of different things. It may be an associate's degree to then go ahead and pursue their bachelor's. Whatever that program is, they are taking that step to do that, and they are highly motivated. So we think that as well is a reason that we see these higher approval rates. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and turn it over to my colleague Melinda, and she will talk to us a little bit about some of the work we do with NCAPS in partnership with our community-based organizations.
Thank you, Amy. So as Amy mentioned, I work with the community outreach within DeKal, working with the community-based organizations. And the way that we do that is our CAPS family support consultants do monthly outreach to all of the CBOs, the community-based organizations listed on Find Help Georgia. And this is very important because our goal in doing that is to update the contact information and the referral methods for those organizations listed. Everyone that's come up here has talked about connecting people to the resources they need with dignity and ease. We really try to help with the ease part of it, because when you reach out to an organization, if it's the wrong phone number or the wrong website or the wrong email address, it's frustrating to need that resource and not be able to connect to it. So our family support consultants do a lot of work making phone calls, sending emails, reaching out to those organizations so that when we refer families to those supports, they are able to access what they need. Another thing that we want to let those community-based organizations know is that the referral piece that has been talked about, they can use this site to track their referrals. That may not be important to some larger organizations, but to smaller organizations in communities that don't have the IT support to do that tracking, they can do that tracking on Find Help Georgia, and that can impact the money they can get to help keep their programs going. So we really want to let those organizations know what impact utilizing Find Help Georgia can have to keep their momentum going and to keep allowing them to serve their communities. And finally, we want to build relationships with these organizations so that we know that when we send families in need to those organizations, help is available there. If the organization is in a situation where they just don't have the resources to help anyone right now, we want to let families know that. And we want to let organizations know that's okay. We can mark you on Find Help Georgia as you're not able to help right now. We can let people know if there's a wait list. But building those relationships also allows us to help encourage those organizations to take part in trainings and to really use Find Help Georgia to be the resource that we've intended as we've all worked so hard together over the last 3 years to make it be. So with that, I want to thank you guys, and I want to turn it over to our friends at the Technical College System of Georgia, Rebecca Ellis and Kimberly Ellis. They are not related.
We like to say we're not related, but actually we are related in our desire to help our students. So when anyone says are we related, we're like, yeah, we are. You don't know it, but we are. But we are so happy to be here today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of our student support services, and then I'm going to pass it over to my not related colleague, Rebecca Ellis. But again, my name is Kim Ellis. I'm with the Technical College System of Georgia, and I want to talk just a few minutes about our college system and how we've utilized Find Help and how it has been a game changer for not only our students who truly do need support in a variety of ways, but for our staff that actually support our students. So we've got 22 technical colleges around the state. You've heard about 3 of them from our two-gen pilot grant, which we could not be happier about. We're so excited to be able to share that partnership and hope that after the pilot, it will continue to grow. On our college campuses, I work at the system office, but I help support our student support staff that support our students with barriers. So you may hear the term special populations coordinator. And those are coordinators on our campus that work with students that fall into a certain category. Economically disadvantaged, single parents, students with disabilities, English as a second language, out of work individuals. So those are a lot of students that really want to come to our campus and they want to be able to train so they can go to work and help support their families. So we have all of that group, and we have our special populations coordinators that are designated to serve those students. And guess what? They have utilized Find Help in so many ways that it's just been amazing to see how we've used Find Help and how it's helped our students stay in class and be able to receive the resources that they need. And it helps our staff because before Find Help, we used to have typed up resource guides. And I see a few of you here from our colleges shaking your head. Yes, so every year we would require our colleges to come up with a resource guide for their community. So guess what they had to do? A lot of research. Guess what they had to do? A lot of typing, a lot of printing, a lot of things to get those resources in the hands of students. But guess what? They don't have to do that now. Why? Because Find Help is an amazing resource and it's online. It's available for students, it's available for staff to use. One of the things that's been really exciting for us is when we started to roll out Find Help Georgia, we started out with just talking about how we could better support our students and what would be easy for them. How are we going to let them know about this resource? And so Find Help Georgia has worked with us. They've helped us so much. We have marketing materials that we all can use. We were able to create a staff single sign-on. So we have Find Help TCSG that is for staff to be able to have one click and they can log on to Find Help. They can help refer their students. They can track, just like all of the wonderful things Elaine showed us with the things that can make the connections between students and resources. And we also put it on our LMS, so we have it on Blackboard. Students that are online don't have to come to campus. They can just click Find Help Georgia and find the resources they need. The other piece that I really, really love about Find Help Georgia is that anyone can use it and you don't have to tell your story over and over and over again. I want you to think about a time, and this happened to me last year, when I just had just some really yucky things happen. And I needed support in a variety of ways, some healthcare stuff. And I would make phone calls and have to tell my story, and then I'd have to call somebody else to get what I needed. Our students don't want to tell their story over and over again. It's hard. You know, you think about those times you've been in a situation where it was tough and you needed something, and you didn't want to have to go to 5 different people to get it. You didn't want to click on a site or call a number that didn't work. And that is the beauty of Find Help. It's accessible. It's easy. Students, I love the ease and dignity, and we've been able to share that with all of our colleges, all of our students across the state. We started out with 3 online trainings. Kelsey, she was stuck with us. We kept adding people and adding people. So I would say over the course of, I think we did it over maybe 2 weeks, we trained over 300 faculty and staff on how to use Find Help specific to TCSG. And we are thankful for the continued support. And we're very thankful that we're here today, and we want to continue to grow. And we want to be a support to anyone in the room that is working with someone that might be interested in attending the Technical College System of Georgia, or maybe interested in doing some other things we have on campus. And that is where I'll turn it over to my related, not related colleague, Rebecca Ellis, and she'll talk a little bit about her programs.
Thank you, cousin. Many people do not know this, but TCSG also operates adult education programs, so it's not just associate's degrees and diploma programs, but adult ed serves learners without high school degrees or diplomas and ESL students. So we have adult education programs at all 22 technical colleges. We also provide funding to several school districts and community-based organizations that serve very diverse populations. So we call it TCSG's Best Kept Secret. We serve about 40,000 students a year.
We in adult ed have staff at each of our programs called career services specialists, and they have been trained in Find Help. Their main role is connecting students to help them enter post-secondary education or get a career. So one thing that we recognize with resources like Find Help is that we need some extra people in the programs that can help students navigate these resources. We serve a lot of learners who might not be able to read yet, speak very low levels of English, and so they really need that support. So we are piloting at 4 of our technical colleges: Southern Regional Technical College, Albany Technical College, Coastal Pines Technical College, and Georgia Northwestern student support coordinators just for adult education students. And so they are new. We are getting them trained on Find Help, but the goal of that position would be to really make sure students have the resources they need to stay in the program. We have a lot of people that come to adult ed class, and then because of whatever reason, childcare, housing, kind of these challenges, they leave. And so we know if we can keep them in the program, sometimes it takes, not that long to get their GED. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, that they can be successful. So Find Help will be a key resource for us as we continue to kind of launch this pilot and see if we can expand it throughout the state for all of the learners that we serve. So that is what is happening in adult education. Thank you.
Kimberly and Rebecca. So we want to share a couple more testimonies of how our community partners are using Find Help Georgia. And we are grateful to receive a testimony video from Irene Barton of Cobb Collaborative, one of our amazing partners and local counsel with PCA Georgia.
Conference is going well. I'm Irene Barton, Executive Director of the Cobb Collaborative, and just a few words about Find Help Georgia. First of all, I have got to thank Kimberly and the amazing team from Prevent Child Abuse Georgia, but particularly Kimberly with the training that she provided. It was so impactful and really helped me and my entire team learn about the power and promise of Find Help Georgia, and really how it's so different than just another resource list that you can share with people who are seeking services in your community. So hats off to Kimberly and the entire team. How Find Help Georgia has really impacted our work is, well, first of all, we put the widget on our website. I had other people do that. That's way above my pay grade, but put the widget on our website so anyone coming to our website could connect directly with Find Help Georgia. That was amazing. We've shared that with other people. We had the resources printed. We have cards in English and Spanish, and we bring those to community events. We share those with our partners because we know that anything that we do to support families prevents child abuse and creates healthy families and thriving communities. It also positioned us to be able to give some feedback and context to Cobb County government, which has very recently launched its own Find Help portal, Find Help Cobb. So we were so pleased to be able to participate in those conversations and share the amazing groundwork that had already been laid with Find Help Georgia with our close partners here in Cobb. So hats off for all of the wonderful things that Find Help Georgia has done in terms of connecting families and those individuals in need of free and low-cost resources to community-based local program services and activities. And keep up the good work. We can't wait to continue to partner with you going forward.
And is there, I know Irene wasn't able to make it, but is there the representative from Cobb Collaborative that's here? Hi, Irene. Thank you so much for joining us. And also Cobb, Find Help Cobb. Abby, you're here? Oh, she just stepped out? Okay, also, and they're joining, okay. But she's also, they've joined us as well. So Irene and her team actually were one of the first organizations, to my knowledge, who added that search box widget to their website, to actually the footer of their website. There are people that are learning about Find Help Georgia that they know your website, but they may not know anything about Find Help Georgia. And so it's pretty easy. We have the downloadable embedded code available under our organizational tools, where you're able to place that search box widget on your site, or maybe on a resource page or in the footer of your site, where people are coming to visit your site and they can put their zip code in and be directly connected to that main brain of resources where they'll find those free and reduced cost services on the platform. We also have a couple of testimonies that I will read in my announcer voice. It runs in the family. I have to do a plug. My sister's on the radio here at 102.9. So, and my father was a Toastmasters speaker, so I got it honest. But again, I mentioned before that one of the ways in which you can connect on Find Help Georgia to the resources is through the helpline and also the chat. And that is powered by Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies. For those of you that are familiar with the former 1-800-CHILDREN number, that's been rebranded to the Find Help Georgia helpline. And so these testimonies come from a few of their callers. I received a call from an elderly woman that needed financial assistance to get her doctor's appointments, I logged into our Find Help Georgia database to search for organizations that could provide her transportation assistance. I was able to refer her to several organizations that provided financial assistance and transportation, including St. Vincent de Paul, a church very involved in helping the community. The caller called back within an hour to thank me and inform me that 2 of the 4 organizations I referred her to were able to help, and that's from Sharena. Again, we receive a lot of feedback, and their evaluations, they're actually placed and done with some of our callers for the helpline. So wonderful testimonies that we receive. And another one here. I received a call from a gentleman that had been released from a lengthy prison sentence, searching for resources for housing. He was living in a friend's place, but it was temporary and his time there was almost up. He was worried about where he would go and did not want to end up homeless. I assured him that I would do my best to help find an agency that would help him. I was able to help him, with some resources and our Find Help Georgia database that provided housing assistance to seniors and encouraged him to give them a call. At the end of the call, he was less anxious. He shared that he had heard from someone else about one of the agencies I gave him, and he was hopeful that they could assist him. The same man called our line again, and I happened to get the call. He was calling to get more resources, but this time for furniture and transportation. He remembered speaking with me and shared the good news of being able to move in a few weeks to one of the senior apartments we had given him as a resource. So again, getting that feedback is so important. Again, meeting people where they are and providing with the resources with dignity and ease. So earlier, Elaine and Kelsey had shared the increase in users and searches over the past year. And that is in part to some of the things and support that we received in the ways that we are marketing Find Help Georgia. So earlier this year, we received funding from the Prevention and Community Support section of the Georgia Division of Family and Children's Services to create and distribute Find Help Georgia marketing kits to cover to over 160 offices across the state of Georgia to support the many needs families face while raising children. Each kit was filled with Find Help Georgia promotional materials, such as bilingual business cards, posters, magnets, and postcards to display or distribute at their offices and to be handed out to families during in-home services. And we also held DFACS-focused helper training for DFACS staff to learn more about Find Help Georgia and how to share those resources and referrals with families. And many of those materials, actually all those materials are available out in the lobby. We've got many postcards, so you can take those. We've got posters, magnets, note cards. Those are new, I like those note cards. Pins and business cards bilingual. And for those, again, that are new to the Find Help family, the platform can be translated into over 100 different languages using Google Translate. And we're talking about being able to text, to email, and print in that language. So as if you're English speaking, you can do your search through Find Help Georgia, and there are ways, and you'll learn this in the training, in which you're able to translate that search of resources to, and translate over into a language that the person that you're assisting communicates in. So it's important to us to have some materials that will meet the needs of people that we serve. But again, the entire platform can be translated into over 100 languages. And that's me in our office. With all, that was a very, many thanks to our GRAs and our staff that assisted with that. And we're part of, for those that know, PCA Georgia, we're part of the School of Public Health at Georgia State University, and that's why we're here. So we are a GSU family. Welcome, welcome. Also, another increase in some of those searches and referrals and users. This past year, the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council's approved the special conditions with Find Help Georgia, and that rolled out among its criminal justice and victim service programs, their subgrantees, where reasonable steps were taken to embed Find Help Georgia into their workflow process. So those that apply for the grants, these were some requirements that they were asked to do, very simple to do, and that includes attending a Find Help Georgia training, where again they will become a certified navigator, and they had to have at least 2 designated staff members to do that. Also, for those that this was applicable to, because there are some subgrantees that would need a referral. So these are those organizations that provide direct services. You would have to have your qualifying services added to the platform, and not just added, but also claiming them. And that, again, is something that you learn in the training of how to suggest your program and then claim your program. And then lastly, again, mentioning Find Help Georgia on the site. And again, there was an increase when, of course, you want to qualify for the grant that you're applying for, that you're wanting to continue and renew. And so this provided with an increase in a surge of organizations that are under the CJCC's umbrella to be able to meet these needs, the increase in training, but also many people, many sites, and I think you all had Douglas County District Attorney's Office that was on that slide before, had added that search box widget that I've been talking about. And that's just one example that's at the bottom of the screen there. There are a few that have actually the description. We give those options for the embedded code. But that increased the number of searches because, again, I may not know about findhelpgeorgia.org, but that's when I'm working to change that. But I know about the site that I'm visiting, and I'm able to see, oh, I do need some assistance. Let me put my zip code in, and then be taken to that main brain of resources. So we are looking to partner with more agencies and organizations to creatively embed Find Help Georgia into your orientations or your onboarding process, or to add the usage of the platform and have that be incorporated into your toolbox or procedures and workflows. And if this is of interest to you, please see me before you leave today so we can discuss more about that process. So now, speaking of discussion, we actually have time, making more time. This was, for me, and when we first started talking about this second annual forum and having conversation with Kelsey and Elaine about the new partners that were coming into the Find Help Georgia family and the Find Help family, was to bring you all together, and that's why we have you sitting at different agency and sector tables, to have discussions to learn more about how you may be using Find Help Georgia for those that have embedded this into your organizations, or sharing ideas about how you want. I know the table here with Grady. This is something that's new to you all, and what you're looking forward to. And so now we're going to have conversations where we can actually network and engage with each other. All right, do you all find that time to be engaging and helpful, to be able to share some things? That's what it was about. That's what it was about. So we actually have time to do some shares with some of the things that we discussed. And so I'm not sure if there's anyone at a particular table that would like to be the speaker. We will bring a mic to you, myself and Hannah, who has the other wireless mic. But let's hear from you all. For those that are using Find Help Georgia, and how you're embedding it into your workflow. It can be for any of the sectors here, just those that want to share. How are you currently using Find Help and Find Help Georgia? Jennifer, would you like to share from your people?
Sure. Well, we had a great conversation and some ways that they're using it. A lot of times they might have a one-pager that they're giving out to all of their participants. That one-pager might have some high-level referrals, resources that they give to everybody that they're serving. But then at the bottom on the footer, they have the access point of Find Help Georgia. I would say another would be the widgets, having the widgets. But another grand idea, because we all want to be on brand. As you can see, Kimberly's wearing beautiful royal blue today. On brand for marketing and communications is so important. So a great idea that came out of the group is, could we have a solid color logo? Blue and green just clashes with my cream and burgundy. Could we do a dark gray or a black or a brown? Having these solid color logos where that widget code would blend well with the branded site that they have. Easy, right? So some great ideas coming for that piece.
Excellent. And Hannah, you have someone, would you like to
Hello, my name is Sharon Williams. I'm a manager with CAPS, Child and Parent Services. So we definitely use Find Help with our families. We cater and serve families low to no income with child care subsidies. So it is embedded in our process. When we have our interviews and speak with families, every interaction with families, Find Help is there. We have the QR codes on our, when we go to community events, it's already, the logo is there with the QR code, as well as in our interview process. So when the families call, it's embedded in our interview scripts. As well as it is on our the website, is in our signature on our emails. So everywhere you look, you find help with CAPS.
Excellent. And we love to see that. That's what we're talking about. Actually making it part of your checklist when you're bringing people into the fold of your organization, sharing with resources they have access to, but Find Help putting that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Is there anyone else that would like to share how you're currently, or I don't want to put healthcare on the spot, but do you all mind sharing how you plan to use Find Help Georgia? Is that something that you feel comfortable talking about?
I was at that table, so I can share if y'all don't want to. Okay. So they are integrating Find Help into their hospital systems through Epic, and I thought that was really great so that their healthcare providers don't have to go out into another browser and look up the resources. They got it right there in their system. So I think that's awesome. Kudos, healthcare. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you. Anyone else that has plans of how to use Find Help that would like to share? Anyone? Okay. Yes.
I had a great table because I had someone with the experience with Find Help Georgia, and then I had someone who's not used it but came because he heard about it, and so there was great interaction between the two of them. And then I had somebody from DeKalb at my table, so we had a great conversation in terms of how Tamara used it as a life coach. One of the things that was a frustration for some of the folks she worked with was being told no. So if they were in a crisis situation and she was able to go on Find Help on their behalf so that she could act as a filter, so that she would have the information where they would be told yes. And then Dr. Huff is really interested in learning more about how Find Help can be used for reentry out of the criminal justice system. So I've got some notes about that to share with you. And then also the faith community is another way that my friend here is using it and recommending it beyond her professional role in her community. So yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Actually, that testimony that came from Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies really spoke to that and brought some light to my eyes because of PCA Georgia. We serve a certain community, and that's not one of the communities in which we serve, but they receive the calls that come in from Find Help. And so there's so many more populations to connect with as well. So excellent. And yes, faith-based. I know my connection, well, I'm a resident of Clayton County, but I've done a lot of training. I think there's someone here that I met in Clayton County to provide a training for, was through Pastor Keith Barksdale. We're actually talking with him this Thursday through Clayton County Action. And that's, through his church and his connections in Clayton County with schools, with government, with community-based organizations. So there's so many ways in which you can meet, again, from where you are, to connect people to find help. Clayton, do you mind, because I was privy to the conversation, that I can share about your concerns with Find Help? No, I can do it, because actually it's a conversation that, I was part of a table with Decal. We'll get into some of the barriers, because we're talking about ease and access to the site. And this is a larger conversation that we will have. We're talking about when you go to you said Athens, and you go to the site and you're looking for childcare. You're a seeker that's looking for a childcare center in your neighborhood. And you go and you put in, and then you go to the web navigation for childcare. Originally, at one point, you used to have it go directly to the locator. And now it goes to a program card. And so Clayton had concerns about the number of clicks that it takes to get, and again, we're talking about ease of access. So this is a conversation, again, I will introduce you to Kelsey and to Elaine to have conversations, because again, there is a process, the different ways in which we have goals. Not every resource is available on the site. It's not a perfect, site, but that's part of our role as community members, where you can suggest programs that you don't even work for, or you may just know about, like, hey, this organization provides free and direct services in my neighborhood. I can suggest a program. That information goes to, and we suggest a program is a link that you'll find at the bottom on Find Help Georgia, findhelpga.org. You'll see a green button at the top of our screen that makes it very prominent to be able to suggest a program. But I would say it takes a step further. If you do suggest a program that you are familiar with in your neighborhood, you can connect them to me or someone from Find Help Georgia so we can train them how to use it. So it's many different areas in which we make this social network stronger. It comes from us. It comes from the organization and people that are aware of the organization. And so that's further conversation that we will need to have. So if people are looking for resources, again, they also can call the number to talk to someone directly or chat online. But to have, there's Keith, were you sitting here the whole time when I called you out? You just got here. That's Pastor Keith Barksdale from Clayton County. I was just talking about you. But yes, so that is something, and I will say this is, the support from Find Help National has been very receptive to allow the suggestions, because as we use this platform, we learn about the flow and process and what works and what doesn't work. And for example, Kelsey, I just saw telemental health is on the subcategory. We just made that suggestion a couple of weeks ago, to where people are looking for virtual support, but telemental health was something that the Department of Public Health was seeking to add, and it's been added. And so there are changes that can be made. There is flexibility and fluidity to this. So we will, again, make those introductions to talk about that particular barrier, because we want to make it easy access. You talked about 3 clicks. People are looking for information. I've put my zip code in. I've done the category, the subcategory. Now what? And so we want to make that as seamless as possible. So we'll definitely have more conversation about how we can make the ease easier. Thank you, Clayton. Yes.
I was going to say, I am often searching for resources, and I will, if I find one, I go and see if it's on Find Help, and if it's not, then I do make the suggestion. And I've been really surprised and impressed that I will make the suggestion, and the two-way conversation that happens, where I find, I get the response back, like, we're looking into this. I know whether or not it's been accepted, but it's fast. I mean, it happens in like 24 hours, and it's really easy. So I think that's something else we can all do to try to make sure that all the services that we come in contact with have the option, or are on the site. And then claiming the card, of course, is the next step. But just having them there, I think we can all do that, and it's not hard at all.
Absolutely. The Find Help curation team will give you the feedback about your suggestions that you make. If it's something that's approved, that'll be approved or not, and why. Because again, what gets approved are free
and reduced direct services that are added to the platform. So are there any other comments? Oh, yes, Jennifer, yes.
Just following up on the barriers, one idea that the group had here is, and of course, learning about the differences between 211 and of course, Find Help Georgia is a statewide platform, trying to remember the long phone number. And so one of the requests they had is, could Find Help Georgia have a 3-digit phone number? Inquiring minds want to know. So we will. Yeah, I mean, they're just, powerhouse right here. But yes, something for us to look into.
Absolutely. Again, speaking to the ease, making it easier for people to get the help that they need. Are there any Oh, yes.
Good afternoon. So I just wanted to briefly talk about discussion at our table because I think for whatever reason we were placed, I guess it was divine intervention, we were placed in the right place here at our table. But we spoke about a CHIP program, Student Housing Initiative Program, wherein we're assisting families and we represent Clayton County and some other entities here. But being able to assist students or parents with students who are facing homelessness, to be able to do that, but then additional resources that could be found through Find Help Georgia. We were here with DECAL, so if they need childcare, we had that, and then also we had Safe Families here, so if they're needing to be able to bridge the gap, perhaps temporarily, they find host families for those children while the families kind of get on their foot and everything. We had it there. And then we were fortunate enough to have someone here from the consulate, who basically was a big sponge soaking up everything here at the table, in terms of how he could utilize our services here. So that was really good as well. So if they're a nationalist, dual citizenship or whatever, they're going to come to him initially, and then he's going to be able to reach out to the resources. So I thought that we were well placed at our table.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is why we gathered here today. Absolutely. Are there any testimonies that anyone would like to share of maybe connecting people to Find Help Georgia? Do you like to share? Yes.
So Find Help Georgia is like my default for everything. Like if I'm on the phone, look it up. And so I actually I'm Paula with Project Infinity, and we support homeless children and youth and their families. And I had a parent reach out to me on a Saturday, and she was the hotel where they were staying didn't have laundry facilities. And I had been in a meeting a couple weeks prior where there was an organization that said that they go to local laundromats and they give out rolls of quarters and detergent and stuff. And so I couldn't remember what it was. And so I was like, well, let me just see. And I looked up laundry services on Find Help Georgia, and there were actually like 2 organizations that were on there. And it's just, you just never know. And so I encourage everybody, even if you think it's just that, it doesn't exist or whatever, to still try and check it out.
Thank you very much. Did you want to talk about the event as well on the 12th, what you're doing? I'll put you on blast.
I'm a huge person about collaboration, and I really believe that it takes a village to help families, and not one organization can do all things. And so we are actually having a virtual resource fair for nonprofits and hopefully Kimberly has it available on her calendar for December 12th. It's a Thursday, and we'll have other free resources available to nonprofits, as well as it's also a networking event. And so if your organization wants to have a booth, which will be a breakout room there, we will do it in 2 parts. So one group will be in their booths, and the people go to their booths and get information about the organization, and then they switch places. So I will send the information to Kimberly.
Okay, and one more. Yes, Beth.
Me again, sorry. So I think one of the biggest things that came out of the conversation at our table that I thought was worth sharing was that, unlike giving people a phone number to call, this puts the seeker in the driver's seat. And just as you were saying, or they were saying earlier, you don't have to tell your story over and over again, but you also get to decide when you reach out for help. It's 24 hours a day that you can put your information in there. So you don't have to face someone that might be judgmental of you or, shut the door in your face. That for people that are seeking these services, that's just not productive. And this really is empowering. And in addition to that, we also, Anissa was also saying that, this platform allows organizations to be people-based. And that's really that's I think what a lot of us are looking for the families that we work with, is for them to be able to help themselves and be empowered in the process. And Find Help really allows them to do that. So that was a big part of what we talked about.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Anissa, hey, how are you doing? There's so many names that I'm familiar with through our trainings with Find Help Georgia, with our mandated reporter training. And so it's great to see you in person. One more comment. Do I have anyone to? Oh, of course. Pastor Keith Barksdale from Clayton County.
Don't do that. Well, I just wanted to say thank you to you, Kimberly, as well as Find Help. 3 times you were in Clayton County. You one time with the family service workers at Clayton County Head Start, and that was our introduction to Find Help, which is an amazing platform. And then through the Clayton Community Resource Network, you did 2 trainings for us, and one at the church and then one at the library. And so just exposing members of the community in Clayton to Find Help was certainly amazing. And I just want to commend Find Help for this type of platform, because anywhere, and all of us who do direct service in some way or another, this is a wonderful tool to have, because you can be right on the spot assisting an individual. Instead of having to flip through stuff or let me get back to my office, you can generally interact and engage that person right there on the spot. So I just want to say thank you to Find Help for this wonderful resource platform.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. I appreciate everyone's feedback and input. The facilitators, those worksheets, if you could bring them up at, before you leave, because we definitely want to get feedback. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hannah. And be able to share that among our community engagement team and with Find Help National. These are some great suggestions and feedback that we received today. Just a couple more reminders before we say our goodbyes. And we've talked about this throughout today. Levels of engagement, ways in which you can get active with Find Help Georgia. Again, we have monthly trainings. The next one will be this Thursday, 11:30 to 1:30. When you go to findhelpga.org, you'll see that green button, organizational tools, that you can click on. You'll scroll down and you'll go to the training and implementation tab, and that's where you'll see the dates where you'll be able to register directly for that. Also, that's another way in which we just added a new button to subscribe to your newsletter, to the newsletter. I'll show you the QR code again, but if you're able to take a picture of it, that's fine, but you can also go directly to the site to do that. Also, under organizational tools, I'm going to skip down to that last button because I'm talking the last bullet. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to share this resource with others. And so in addition to the promotional material we have out in the front, you also have access to downloadable promotional tools on the site. We have the business card, we have the postcard, we have one-pagers, half-pagers, a drop-in slide. If you're doing a presentation and you want to share information about Find Help Georgia, we give that. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to be able to share this information with others. Also, that code that was talking about, going back to the second bullet, that widget, search box widget, you'll be able to find the code to embed into your website to put that there. Making sure that your organization is listed and claimed on Find Help Georgia is very important to do, and to use it. Can't break it, just put in the zip code and share with others. Download the app. Again, you can be in the field. It's just, there have been conferences that I've attended when we've exhibited. I didn't have my laptop with me. I don't meet a stranger, so I'll get in a conversation with someone and they'll share resources with me. You know me, Grace.
And I'm able to share from my phone. I can text resources or email resources to them. But again, it's something that's available to those that are seeking help as well as those there in the field providing the help. And you can do it at any time to self-navigate. And again, the downloadable promotional tools. Also on that spread the word link or tab, you'll see for those of you that have newsletters, we give you the verbiage. You can copy and paste or customize how you need to. But again, we just make it as easy as possible for you to use this resource. And with that, we want to thank you for braving the Atlanta traffic in the rain. It's one thing to have the traffic. It's another thing to have traffic and the rain in Atlanta. And so if you want to try to scan this, it goes to the subscription to your newsletter. But thank you very much for joining us. Have a great day.